G'day guys, it's Marky from 19 Empire. We are back on the Beater Bronco this time, and finally we're going to get this thing one step closer to getting on the streets with a brand new interior. But we're going to keep this thing budget friendly. Well, kind of. We are not skimping on what make this thing a really nice driver, but we are keeping budget in mind because these things can blow out easily. So we've got new carpet, we got underlay, we got all sorts. And best of all, retrimmed front seats. I cannot wait to get this thing back together. All right, ready to roll.
All right, today we are working on our Bronco. We have a whole heap of stuff from car builders, carpet, sound deadener. But before we get into that, we got some material from Spotlight and we're gonna do our do-it-yourself headlining. So far we have wiped all this down with some grit, sort of get rid of the old residue, and we've done a couple of repairs. And now we are gonna get the material on. All right, we have gone with like a leafy, bluey bronze. Our Bronco's quite a beater, obviously, blue on the outside, it's got tan inside. So we tried to find something that would work, and we come up with this, which will soften it a little bit and look cute, I reckon.
Okay, so you may be wondering why the hell we are putting floral hood lining in this car. So we are super inspired by 60s and 70s. They just done some really
Fruity.
far out stuff, and but often it worked. Like the Chryslers, they had the mod tops where they had floral hood linings. A lot of different models had different inserts in the seats and stuff, and they've done some really fruity out there stuff, and we thought we'd bring a bit of that flair into the Bronco. So the interior on this thing is obviously a lot of tan and brown, but we wanted to tie it into the outside of what we're doing, and we're sort of going, it's a kind of a little bit subtle, I guess, considering the color choices, but we just thought it'd be a nice little, I don't know, something different.
Yeah.
Why not? So
And we're limited to material choices.
yeah,
This
so
was the best.
usually you'd get like a fabric with like a specific hood lining fabric with a bit of backing on it, and it's like a foam backing, but this is a pretty thick, I don't even know what this hell is for, maybe like curtains or something. Tapestry. So we want a bit of tapestry today on the 19 Empire. So let's have a crack at doing this. We got the quality. This is the stuff you need. This is high build or high stick hood lining glue, and it is designed to handle the heat. So you don't want to just put just basic shit from Bunnings. You want to get this stuff. It's the right stuff. So anyway, let's have a crack at doing this. Okay, so unfortunately the pattern is running down the length of the fabric, so it looked funny running it sideways. But the fabric is like a kind of a bee's dick too small, but we'll make it work. Oops. Maybe you want to watch out. I just squirted you.
Yeah. Stinks.
Now I
Not
think,
nearly as bad as you.
oh, phew. This is sticky, so sticky. Tight.
Start in the middle.
Start in the middle.
New side hustle.
Oh.
Oh my.
It's actually good because this is so thick. It's actually gonna give. It's got a bit of forgiveness with the lumps and bumps underneath. So, yes.
So easy.
I have to glue that better. All right, now come back as far as we can. I love the pattern it puts out, eh? The pattern's
Spider webs. Oh, come back here. Nice.
Not rolling. Something like that. This is where you want to be real careful on the edge. You don't want to spray the good side, especially if you don't have a pattern on it. This is like a one stick wonder. Once it's on, it's game over. So now we'll just flip it over, trim up the edge, do another little glue, and then wrap it around as much as we can. There it goes. Damn. Hard yakka, man. That's better. That's better. Where's some rust over there?
Nice.
Cool.
So cute.
Yeah, that's cool. Fruity. Looks like a bloody, I don't know.
Not too crazy.
Looks like an auntie's lounge. Can't wait till we get some trims around it just to finish it off.
Seats, carpet.
Like it?
You love it.
You love it. All right, so we've got that hood lining in. We've painted a bunch of trims with some vinyl spray to try and make this thing look fresh. It's like 50 shades of beige in there. All the plastic is like faded to different levels. So we'll try to come up with a bit of a baseline without going too far. I mean, it's, you know, it's like the plot thickens. But anyway, that hood lining is looking sick. I'm stoked with how that's looking. Andrea's loving it. So now it's time to move on with getting this thing ready so we can reinstall all the interior. But as you guys know, this has been trying to be a budget build with this car, but where I don't like to skimp is when it comes down to the drive quality. So it may not have nice show paint, it may not have 500 horsepower, but what it does have is quality sound deadening and acoustic lining, all that sort of stuff, which is gonna really make this thing drive way nicer. Like I done it with the old F truck. That thing used to drive like an old clapped out forklift, and then it ended up being like a really nice driver. So we've gone with Car Builders. They have an insane range for exactly this purpose. Aussie company, and they are absolutely killing it in this industry. So we've got the install kit and we've got some sound deadener here, and we've got oodles of it. Should I open this one already? No, not that one. That one. So I'm sure you guys have seen this sort of stuff before, but basically it's a black sticky back. It's about 1 millimeter thick, and this just takes all of the hollow sound out of it. So you can put this in your doors, you can put this in the floors, you can go ape shit. But basically for this build, we're just going to do the floor, then we're going to put down a nice carpet underlay. We got that through Car Builders as well, and then a brand new carpet once again through Car Builders. This thing is going to be sick. So we're going to do a little bit of this before we wrap it up for the night, and yeah, I'm keen to start putting this thing back together. Cool. So good. I'm trade assistant tonight. sorry, I didn't even do that. Oh, rookie.
Now, do you want me to go down the crease?
No, you can miss that crease, but just butt it up nicely to the next one. And lap it. That is. Okay, so last night we wrapped up the sound deadener. It's actually a pretty fun little job to get this all done. Obviously, it's pretty easy that anyone can have a crack at this. I actually got a lot further than I thought I would with just one box. I sort of got like 3/4 of the way around the floor, and bearing in mind that sound deadener doesn't have to really go every last inch. You can use sound deadener in patches and it will still take the hollow sound out of the metal. So if you were sort of on a real strict budget, you probably could have done this entire floor in one box, which is pretty freaking good. So now I've got Car Builder's aluminium foil tape. This is designed to go down and cover the joints. I'll go around and do all that. Should be pretty simple. And then we're going to go down and put the carpet underlay down, and that's going to make this thing even more sound dense. It's going to be awesome in here. So now that we've finished installing the sound deadener, it's time to clean up and get this tub section all rust treated. I've got a brush on rust treater here, and we'll let this set overnight so we can finally put the bed liner in. All right, so you'll see here that things have escalated. I tried to clean up these side panels. I didn't want this thing to blow out, and of course it has. They just didn't come up. They didn't come up very good to clean at all. They look pretty much as bad as they did before, and I figured I'm already vinyl spraying most of the cabin end of the interior, so why not just give these a coat of paint as well. I was going to leave this less detailed back here because this is where we're going to be throwing materials and using it. You know, the dog's going to be in the back. It's probably going to get trashed back here, but I just can't bring myself to do what we're doing and leave this as crusty as it is. And of course now I found some rust, which we're going to pretend I didn't see, and just try and get this back together. This is blowing out. Okay, so we're getting real close now. This is, like I said, blown out as usual. After rust treating all the back here, all the scaly rust, the rust converter basically turns all the rust black. It's a perfect scenario of where we would use this. Obviously, I'm not going to do a new bed floor. It's just way overkill for this job. There's a few little spots here that we have just given a bit of fiberglass and a good old seam sealer. That's your best friend with something like this. Otherwise, you just get way too deep. I'm just going to go through now and seal the edge here where we got the sound deadener with some seam sealer just to pin it down. And we're just going to go around some of our little spots with some seam sealer, and then we're pretty much ready to spray. The good thing about taking these sides out is that I don't have to mask up now. I'm going as quick and basic as possible, no masking. Okay, you see we're all masked up now, ready to go. I've done the absolute bare minimum in masking. Fortunately, what we're about to do here is pretty easy to control. We're going to go with a new product from Car Builders, the TXT coating. This is a 2-pack. bed liner or stone guard, whatever you may know it as. The good thing about this product is I'm super stoked. I've got a couple of bottles here. I've got some stuff to the underside, but also I have some tinted version for inside. So you can change this to be the color of anything you want. And why not match it to our carpet? So the back half of this car, as I mentioned, is going to be used. The dogs are going to be in this thing. I don't want to put carpet back there. It's just going to get trashed. So we can do a something a little bit custom here. I've color matched this. It's executive brown, whatever that is. It's just an eye match that I've picked to this color. So the carpet is going to stop right here, and then from there back, it's going to be tinted brown bed liner. This is going to look awesome. All right, let's get spraying. So the thing I love about this product, it is so simple. Simply part A into part B with 80 ml of tinter of your color choice, and it is mixed, ready to go. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, so while we wait for that bed liner to harden up, it's 2-pack, so it's gonna be, hopefully in the next couple of hours, we'll be able to work around it a bit better than we can now. I'm going over some other parts, so I've got some vinyl spray happening on these parts here, just refreshing them. Most of those parts are the original color. The exclusion of that was a brown. We've changed that color. We're just going over what we can, pick the closest color, and then just go for it. So now I'm on to the next part while we wait for that to dry. Okay, so we're going with the car builders once again. This one is called a noise. This one's called the mass noise liner. So it's basically like a foam. Holy, everything is just so thick and heavy. So it is it's not gonna help you quarter-mile times, but it is gonna make the car so much nicer to drive. So this is essentially an underlay. Instead of having that old woolen, woven, messy, quilted underlay like they did back in the day, when once it got wet like this thing, it just stayed wet, and it basically just sat there like a sponge and rusted out the floors. Well, this stuff is actually, it can dry out. You can pull this out and dry it. So we're going to get this in place, ready to go, and then finally the carpet can go in. Okay, the mass noise liner, the carpet underlay is all installed. Probably not my neatest work, but let's be honest, it doesn't have to be super fussy because the carpet's going to cover all of this. I've just gone under the car and I've poked out all the holes with this screwdriver that I just machined down to a little point, stabbed up the holes, and then you can see I've marked them all with some yellow here. Now my method is to go around. I usually heat up the screwdriver. Usually this works with the carpet as well. I'll heat the screwdriver up with the blowtorch here and melt the holes out, so we've got a nice neat hole. Makes every step so much easier. By the time we get the carpet in, we can find the hole. So a little bit more time spent now will make life so much easier than fumbling around trying to stab from the top, trying to find the holes in the carpet. So yeah, get all this sorted and then we can start laying it in and see how it looks. All right. So it's finally time for some fun stuff. As you can see, this is all dried up now. It looks freaking awesome. I'm super stoked on how it came out. So this ended up only using one bottle, which is 1 litre. I had 2 mixed up with the tinter all coloured ready to go. So it's actually a bonus that I got through it. Don't get me wrong, I only just got through it, but I figured I'd keep the other one as a spare. See how this thing wears. So if it wears as good as it's claimed to be, then I probably don't need the other one. But if it gets a bit of wear over, you know, a few years or whatever, I can give it a second coat because I've got the other one ready to go. Now the carpet's going to go in. As you can see, I matched the colour sort of close enough, and I think it looks freaking awesome. I'm really stoked with how this match goes from the carpet to the plush to the work zone back here where the puppies are going to be ruining it. So now getting carpet in is a bit of a trick. You got to really mess around with it and try and get it sitting nice and flush, and there's a lot of time dicking around with this, and then get the scuff plates all bolts down, and obviously get your hole lined up here. I'm going to mess around with this over the next hour or so, and then hopefully we can get the seats in soon. Alright, so once you've got the carpet in place and you're happy with how it's sitting, you can basically do the same step yet again, poke your holes. I would suggest maybe taking a little bit more care, because if you get the hole wrong in this step, you're going to see the carnage. So maybe poke your hole first, get real confident and comfortable that is the hole you want to put in the ground, and then burn it. Because if you burn this and you miss the hole or get it wrong, I've been there, it's pretty hard to hide it. So we're going to try and get these in. Unfortunately, I don't have the bolts to bolt the actual brackets to the floor. So this is going to be a mock-up, which is so annoying because it's like, we're right there. But anyway, let's keep pushing forward and see how far we can get. So from what I can gather, this passenger seat doesn't actually move. It flips forward so you can get passengers in with this big ugly bracket they've made, this hinge, but it doesn't slide back or forward, so you're stuck with what you got. And bear in mind, these seats would never have come in an American Bronco, so from my understanding is to make an Australian assembled car, they had to have so many Australian parts in them to qualify. So yeah, these seats would have come out of a Falcon, and who knows, they may have made these brackets to work with this seat. Don't know. Maybe if you know in the comments, let me know. Okay, so there we have it, guys. The Bronco trim is nowhere near done. I failed on so many fronts. Everything broke. Plastics fall apart when you're pulling them apart. They break when you try and fix them. They break when you put them back together. We didn't get anywhere near done what I was hoping to, but you guys seen a lot of the methods that I use when trying to save an interior without going apeshit. Of course, we threw a little bit extra at this car when it came to all the sound deadening and trying to make this thing like a really nice driver, but we tried to save a bit of money when it come to, you know, respraying some trims and just sort of making most of what we had. We've put an eBay special dash mat in to save that destroyed looking dash, but it looks totally fine. I want to thank Brad for doing the seats. We ended up getting these trimmed from our friend up in the Riverland, and he's just getting back into motor trimming and does a lot of speedboats and stuff like that. We threw him these seats and said we wanted it to look factory stitch pattern, but I picked somewhat of a different color, so we went with like a just a random brown that I found, and then with a basket weave insert. So we're throwing sort of back to the XY era there, and honestly I'm really stoked with how they come out. I really love the trim, I love the hood lining. I can't wait to get in and just drive this thing. It's just getting a bit long-winded now, but anyway guys, I hope you picked up a few tips along the way. Encourage you guys to get out and save another Beater. I do my best to try and save these things without blowing out, and yeah, hopefully you guys picked up a few tips along the way. As usual, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff, and we'll see you all on an upcoming episode. Cheers guys.